The emergency alarms echoed through the massive halls of the Galactic Council space station. Red lights flashed across the curved walls as hundreds of alien representatives hurried to the main chamber. Something had gone terribly wrong, and everyone knew it. Inside the grand circular chamber, the council members took their seats. Some floated in anti-gravity pods, others sat on traditional chairs, and a few stayed in their environmental tanks. The room buzzed with worried whispers and nervous movement. At the center of the chamber, High Counselor Rex, a tall being with metallic skin, raised all four of his arms for silence. "We face a crisis," he announced, his voice deep and troubled. "The humans have done something that threatens the very fabric of our technological understanding." Images appeared in the air above the council floor. They showed a strange-looking warship, unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Its hull was a mix of different materials that shouldn't work together. Energy readings from the ship made no sense. They showed power signatures that should have destroyed each other. "This is the U.S. Phantom," Rex continued, pointing at the image. "A human warship that breaks every rule of compatible technology we have followed for 10,000 years. They have combined systems from 15 different civilizations, systems that cannot work together." The chamber erupted in shocked voices. A representative from the science-focused Silver World stood up, their crystalline body reflecting the red emergency lights. "Impossible. The energy fields would tear the ship apart. The operating systems would crash. The hull materials would reject each other." But the images didn't lie. The U.S. Phantom not only existed, it flew through space with impossible grace. More images showed the ship in action, its weapons combining different alien technologies in ways that should have failed catastrophically. Instead, they worked better than anyone could have imagined. Admiral James Thompson stood on the bridge of the U.S. Phantom, watching the stars through the main viewport. He knew his ship was causing chaos in the Galactic Council, but he couldn't help feeling proud. The Phantom was humanity's greatest achievement, a warship built by breaking all the rules. "Sir," called out Lieutenant Mike from his station, "we're picking up more scan attempts. Looks like everyone wants to know how we tick." Mike grinned as he worked his controls. A mix of touch screens, holographic interfaces, and neural links that no other ship in the galaxy used together. Thompson walked to the center of the bridge, his boots making solid sounds on the deck plates made of 3 different alien metals that supposedly couldn't exist side by side. "Let them scan," he said. "They won't understand what they're seeing anyway." The bridge crew worked at their stations, each one a testament to human ingenuity. Engineers Mary Cooper and Robert Wilson had designed these stations to use multiple alien technologies at once. Where other species saw conflict and impossibility, humans saw opportunity and innovation. "Admiral," called out the weapons officer Tom, "the Council's sending another message. They're demanding we power down and submit to inspection." Thompson shook his head. "Send our usual response. We're a properly registered Earth military vessel, operating in free space under human authority." The Phantom continued its patrol route, its engines humming with power that shouldn't exist. The ship used both quantum gravity and antimatter drives, a combination that made other species scientists pull their hair out, if they had hair. The humans had found that the two systems, rather than fighting each other, created a unique resonance that made the ship faster and more maneuverable than anything else in known space. In his private office, Thompson looked at the reports from his engineering team. Cooper and Wilson had outdone themselves again. They'd found a way to layer 3 different types of shield technology, energy fields that should have exploded if they touched. Instead, the fields worked together, making the Phantom nearly invulnerable to known weapons. A knock at his door interrupted his reading. "Come in," he called out. Mary Cooper entered, her eyes bright with excitement. "Admiral, we've done it again. Remember how everyone said we couldn't mix Trader Union computer systems with Defense League targeting arrays? Well, we proved them wrong. The new targeting system is 3 times more accurate than anything in the galaxy." Thompson smiled. This was why the Phantom existed, to prove that humanity's greatest strength was its ability to ignore impossible and find new ways forward. Good work, Mary. How's Robert handling the power distribution? He's like a kid with new toys. Mary laughed. He found out that if we run the power through all 3 reactor types in sequence, we get 40% more energy than we should. The aliens say it breaks the laws of physics. Robert says it just breaks their understanding of physics. Alarms suddenly blared through the ship. Thompson and Mary rushed to the bridge, where the crew was already at battle stations. "Pirate ships, sir," Mike reported. 3 heavy cruisers, coming in fast. They're of the Lost Fleet, the ones that have been hitting colony worlds. Thompson took his command chair. Finally, a chance to show what this ship can really do. Battle stations, everyone. Let's show them why they should fear the impossible. The pirate ships approached, their black hulls bristling with weapons. They were feared throughout the sector, using top-line military gear stolen from multiple species. Their leader's voice came over the comm system, full of confidence and mockery. "Unknown vessel, power down and prepare to be boarded. We've taken dozens of ships in this sector. Your strange little craft won't last 5 minutes against us." Thompson smiled. "All stations, Combat Protocol Omega. Show them what happens when you combine technologies that don't work together." The Phantom's hybrid weapons powered up. Shield systems that shouldn't exist flared to life. Targeting systems that broke all the rules locked onto the enemy ships. The pirates were about to learn why this ship was giving the Galactic Council nightmares. "Sir," Tom reported from weapons, "all systems ready. Permission to show these pirates why humans don't follow the rules." Thompson nodded, his voice firm and clear. "Permission granted. Let's make some history." The Phantom moved forward, its impossible drives glowing with power that defied understanding. The pirates were about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't technology. It was the ability to imagine new ways to use it. The battle that followed would change the galaxy's understanding of what was possible, and it would only be the beginning of the U.S. Phantom's legend. The 3 pirate ships spread out in an attack formation, their black hulls reflecting the distant starlight. They were confident in their superior numbers and firepower. The U.S. Phantom hung in space before them, its strange hull gleaming with impossible energy readings. "Last warning." The pirate leader's voice crackled over the comm. "Power down now, or we'll blow your weird little ship into space dust." Admiral Thompson looked at his crew and nodded. "Show them what the Phantom can do. All weapons free." The pirates fired first, their energy beams and plasma torpedoes streaming toward the Phantom. They expected their target to try dodging or to break apart under their combined fire. Instead, the impossible ship just sat there, letting the attacks hit. 3 different shield systems flared to life at once. The pirates' weapons splashed harmlessly against barriers that rippled with gold, blue, and green energy. On their sensors, the pirates saw something that made no sense. The Phantom's shields were actually growing stronger with each hit. "Impossible," the pirate leader shouted. "Those shield types can't work together. The energy feedback should be destroying your ship." Thompson smiled. "Mary, would you explain to our pirate friends why they're wrong?" Engineer Mary Cooper's voice came over the open channel, clear and proud. "Actually, when you adjust the shield frequencies just right, they create a resonance pattern. Each hit makes the pattern stronger. We just had to think differently about how energy fields interact." The pirates responded by launching another barrage. This time they used weapons of different types, hoping to find a weakness. The Phantom's shields just glowed brighter. "Our turn," Thompson said. "Tom, show them our special weapon combinations." The Phantom's weapons officer grinned as he pressed his controls. The ship's main guns powered up, combining energy types that no other ship in the galaxy dared to mix. Beams of twisted light shot out, spiraling around each other in impossible patterns. The lead pirate ship tried to dodge, but its shields collapsed instantly under the hybrid attack. The impossible energy combination cut through its hull like it was made of paper. The ship's engines died, leaving it drifting in space. What? What was that? The second pirate captain demanded, fear creeping into his voice. That, Robert Wilson called from his engineering station, was 3 different weapon types working together. Everyone said it would blow up in our faces. We proved them wrong. The remaining pirate ships tried to split up, but the Phantom's strange engines flared with multiple colors as it moved faster than should have been possible. It caught up to the second ship in moments. How are they moving so fast? One pirate screamed over the open channel. Their engine signatures make no sense. Making sense is overrated, Thompson replied. Tom, disable their engines. Let's show them another impossible trick. The Phantom fired again, this time using a different weapon combination. Rings of energy that should have destroyed each other spun out from the ship's lateral guns. They wrapped around the pirate vessel's engine section, shorting out its power in seconds. The last pirate ship turned to run, its captain finally realizing they were outmatched. But the Phantom's hybrid sensors had already locked on. No amount of electronic countermeasures or stealth fields could break that lock. Please, the final pirate captain begged. We surrender. Just tell us how you built that monster ship. Thompson stood up from his command chair. The secret isn't in the building. It's in refusing to accept limitations. Humans don't believe in impossible. We just see problems we haven't solved yet. The Phantom's final shots disabled the last pirate ship's weapons and engines. In less than 10 minutes, the most feared pirate group in the sector had been reduced to floating wrecks. Send the coordinates to the sector patrol, Thompson ordered. They can pick up our pirate friends and their ships. As the crew worked, Mary approached Thompson with a tablet showing new readings. Sir, you'll want to see this. Remember how everyone said using multiple targeting systems would create data conflicts? Well, the battle proved them wrong again. The systems are actually learning from each other. Our targeting accuracy just improved by 20%. Robert joined them, his face excited. And the shield resonance thing. It's better than we thought. Each hit really does make the pattern stronger. We could probably take on a whole battle fleet now. Mike called out from his station. Speaking of battle fleets, sir, I'm picking up a lot of ships heading our way. Looks like the Galactic Council finally decided to see the Phantom up close. Thompson watched the sensor displays as dozens of ships appeared from faster-than-light travel. They represented the most powerful species in the galaxy, each bringing their best warships to investigate the impossible human vessel. Sir, Tom reported, they're demanding we shut down our dangerous and unstable systems. They're saying we're in violation of about 50 different technology treaties. Send them the data from our pirate battle, Thompson ordered. Let them see that our dangerous and unstable systems just took down 3 ships that their conventional fleets couldn't catch. Mary looked at the approaching fleet with bright eyes. You know what's funny? Each of those ships out there represents a species that told us our ideas were impossible. Now they're all coming to see how we did it. That's humanity's real strength, Thompson said. We don't just think outside the box. We take different boxes, cut them up, and build something new. The Phantom isn't just a warship. It's proof that progress comes from challenging old limits. The Galactic Council ships formed a ring around the Phantom, their sensors trying to understand how the impossible ship functioned. But they couldn't make sense of it because they were still thinking the old way, believing that certain technologies couldn't mix, that some combinations were impossible. Thompson looked at his crew. The humans who had helped prove the impossible was possible. Send a message to Earth Command. Tell them Phase 1 is complete. The Phantom has proven itself in combat. And Phase 2, sir? Mary asked, already guessing the answer. Thompson smiled. Phase 2 is showing the galaxy that this is just the beginning. The Phantom isn't a violation of natural laws. It's proof that we didn't fully understand those laws, and humanity is just getting started. The impossible ship hung in space, surrounded by the galaxy's most powerful vessels. But everyone watching knew that something had changed. The rules about what was possible had been rewritten, and humanity was holding the pen. The U.S. Phantom was just the first step into a new age of discovery and innovation, where impossible was just another word for not tried yet. The Galactic Council's emergency meeting had turned into chaos. Hundreds of representatives argued as holographic displays showed the U.S. Phantom's battle with the pirates. They watched again and again as the impossible ship's weapons cut through shields that should have held, as its own defenses grew stronger with each hit. "This must stop," shouted the representative from the Tech Directorate, slamming his metal fist on the podium. "The humans are playing with forces they don't understand. Their ship breaks 63 known laws of physics." High Counselor Rex raised his 4 arms for silence. "We have a more immediate problem. The Phantom's success against the pirates has inspired other human shipyards. Our spies report they're already building more ships using these forbidden technology combinations." The chamber erupted in fresh panic. One ship breaking the rules was bad enough, but an entire fleet of impossible ships, it was unthinkable. Aboard the Phantom, Admiral Thompson reviewed the latest messages from Earth Command. The ship's success had changed everything. Humanity was pushing forward with new designs, taking the lessons learned from the Phantom and going even further. "Sir," Mike called from his station, "we're picking up some strange readings. The Council fleet is trying something new." Thompson looked at the main screen. The alien ships had arranged themselves in a complex pattern around the Phantom. Energy readings began to spike as they activated some kind of synchronized weapon system. "They're trying to create a resonance field," Mary explained, rushing to her engineering station. "They think if they match the frequency of our shield harmonics, they can disrupt our systems." The alien ships fired as one, their beams combining into a web of energy that surrounded the Phantom. For a moment, the impossible ship's shields flickered. "They actually did their homework," Robert said, his fingers flying over his controls. "But they forgot something important. Our systems don't just break the rules, they rewrite them." "Mary, remember that shield modification we theorized?" Mary's eyes lit up. "The recursive adaptation protocol. But we haven't tested it yet." "No time like the present," Thompson said. "Do it." Mary and Robert worked together, their hands dancing across their stations. The Phantom's shields began to pulse with new patterns of energy. Instead of fighting against the Council fleet's resonance field, the shields began to absorb it, learning and adapting. "Impossible," came a transmission from the Council fleet. "Their shields are using our own resonance field to grow stronger." Thompson opened a channel to all ships. "That's the problem with thinking you know all the rules. You forget that rules can change. Stand down now, or we'll be forced to demonstrate more of our impossible tricks." The Council fleet hesitated. Their best scientists had created this trap, using their most advanced understanding of energy field interactions. But the humans had turned it against them in minutes. "Admiral," Tom reported from weapons, "I'm reading power buildups in their secondary weapons. They're not giving up." Thompson nodded. "Show them what happens when you combine that new shield configuration with our hybrid weapon systems." The Phantom's weapons powered up, but this time they were different. The energy from the shields fed into the weapon systems, creating new combinations that even the ship's creators hadn't predicted. A burst of impossible energy shot out from the Phantom, splitting into multiple beams that danced between the Council ships. One by one, their shields failed, their weapons powered down, and their engines went dark. What did you do to our ships?" demanded a Council commander. "We used your own energy against you," Mary explained. "Your resonance field gave us the perfect frequency to disable your systems without causing any real damage. You'll have power back in about an hour." Thompson stood at the center of his bridge, looking at the disabled Council fleet. "Your scientists think they know everything about how technology works. But humanity's greatest strength is asking what if. What if two things that shouldn't work together actually could? What if the rules you think are unbreakable are just rules you haven't questioned yet?" The Council ships floated powerless in space as the Phantom's crew continued to analyze the data from their new shield configuration. Every attempt to stop them had only made them stronger, teaching them new ways to combine technologies that the galaxy thought impossible. "Sir," Mike said, receiving a priority message from Earth Command. "They want us to proceed to the outer colonies. There are reports of heavy military activity out there. The Council's not the only one interested in our ship anymore." Thompson looked at his crew. They were tired from the constant confrontations, but their eyes still shone with the excitement of discovery. Every battle, every challenge, had taught them something new about their impossible ship. "They're afraid of us," Mary said, looking at the disabled Council fleet. "Not just because we're powerful, but because we're proving everything they believe about technology is wrong." "Fear leads to desperate actions," Thompson replied. "And I have a feeling we haven't seen desperate yet. Plot a course for the outer colonies. If someone's building up forces out there, we need to know why." As the Phantom prepared to jump to faster-than-light speed, its systems humming with impossible energy combinations, Thompson thought about what they'd accomplished. They hadn't just built a powerful warship. They'd challenged the galaxy's fundamental beliefs about what was possible. The ship's hybrid drives powered up, creating a faster-than-light field that broke a dozen more laws of physics. As they prepared to jump, Thompson received one last message from the Council fleet's commander. "You don't understand what you're doing," the alien warned. "There are reasons we don't combine technologies like this. There are things out there. Things that notice when you break too many rules." Thompson sent back a simple reply. "Then it's time they noticed humanity. Because we're just getting started." The Phantom vanished into faster-than-light speed, leaving behind a galaxy in turmoil. The impossible ship had changed everything, challenging thousands of years of technological doctrine. But as they headed toward the outer colonies, Thompson and his crew couldn't know that their greatest test was still to come. Because the Council commander was right about one thing. Something had noticed them. In the darkness between the stars, ancient powers were stirring, awakened by the impossible energy signatures of humanity's greatest achievement. The real question wasn't whether the Phantom could break the rules. The question was, what happened when you broke so many rules that reality itself took notice? The U.S. Phantom dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of human space. The outer colonies lay before them, scattered across dozens of star systems. But something was wrong. The usual busy traffic of merchant ships and patrol vessels was missing. Multiple distress beacons detected, Mike reported from his station. "They're coming from 3 different colonies, but the signals are weird, sir, like something's interfering with them." Thompson studied the sensor readings. "Any response to our hails?" "Nothing, sir. Just static and wait." Mike adjusted his controls. "I'm picking up something else. Some kind of energy pattern I've never seen before. It's huge, covering at least 2 star systems." Mary rushed to her engineering station, her eyes widening as she looked at the readings. "Admiral, remember what that Council commander said? About things that notice when you break too many rules. I think we just found them." The main screen lit up with new sensor data. Massive objects were moving through the outer colony systems. They were bigger than anything the galaxy had ever seen, their hulls made of material that seemed to bend reality around them. "Sir," Tom called out, "I'm getting weapons readings from those ships. They're using energy patterns similar to ours, but more advanced, like they've been breaking the rules of physics for millions of years." Robert spoke up from engineering. "They're not just breaking the rules, they're ignoring them completely. These beings, they're operating on a whole different level of reality." A transmission cut through their communications, filling the bridge with a strange, echoing voice. "We are the Watchers. We have seen your violation of the natural laws. Your species has drawn our attention." Thompson stood tall. "This is Admiral James Thompson of the U.S. Phantom. Why have you attacked our colonies?" "Attack?" The voice seemed amused. "We are containing the spread of your chaos. For billions of years, we have maintained order in this galaxy. Species must follow the proper path of technological development. You're kind. You break too many rules. You combine things that should not be combined. You must be stopped before you destabilize reality itself. Mary's console suddenly lit up with alerts. Sir, I'm detecting massive energy buildups from their ships. They're using some kind of reality warping weapons. The Phantom shook as waves of strange energy washed over it. Systems started to flicker as the laws of physics themselves seemed to shift and change around them. Our shields are failing, Robert reported. These weapons, they're not just attacking our ship. They're attacking the rules that make our technology work. Thompson gripped his command chair as the ship shuddered again. Mary, Robert, you've made the impossible work before. We need another miracle. The two engineers worked frantically at their stations. The Phantom's hybrid systems were failing one by one as the Watcher's weapons rewrote the laws of reality around them. Wait, Mary said suddenly. That's it. They're not just breaking the rules. They're changing them. But our systems, they're designed to work with broken rules. Robert, if we reverse the shield harmonics and feed them into the weapon systems. Robert caught on immediately. We could use their reality manipulation against them. The more they change the rules, the stronger we get. Thompson nodded. Do it, Tom. Prepare all weapons. If we're going to fight beings that control reality, we might as well go all out. The Phantom's systems hummed with new energy as Mary and Robert implemented their desperate plan. The ship's impossible technology began to adapt to the changing laws of physics, learning and growing stronger with each shift. Energy readings are off the scale, Mike reported. Whatever you two did, it's working. Our systems aren't just adapting to their reality changes, they're learning from them. The Watcher's voice came again, this time with a note of surprise. Impossible. Your technology, it grows stronger. You learn from our attempts to contain you. Thompson smiled. That's humanity's greatest strength. We don't just break rules. We learn from them. We adapt. We grow. And right now, you're teaching us exactly how to fight you. The Phantom's weapons fired, combining their hybrid technology with the reality-warping energies they'd absorbed from the Watchers. Beams of impossibly twisted light cut through space, actually bending the laws of physics around them. One of the massive Watcher ships reeled back, its reality-warping field disrupted by the Phantom's attack. This cannot be. You are children playing with forces you don't understand. Understanding is overrated, Robert called out. We're humans. We see something impossible. We find a way to make it work. Right now, you're showing us whole new levels of impossible to work with. The Watchers launched another attack, trying to completely rewrite the laws of physics in the local space. But the Phantom systems had already learned from the previous attacks. The ship's hybrid technology didn't just resist the changes. It embraced them, using them to create new and even more impossible combinations. Sir, Mary reported excitedly, their reality manipulation is actually improving our systems. Every change they make teaches us something new about how to break the rules. Thompson opened a channel to the Watcher ships. You've spent billions of years enforcing the rules. But you forgot the most important rule of all life adapts. Evolution isn't just biological. It's technological too. And humanity. We're the best adapters in the galaxy. The Phantom's impossible weapons fired again, this time creating effects that even its creators hadn't imagined possible. Reality itself seemed to twist and bend around the ship as it fought beings that had once thought themselves the masters of physical law. But even as they fought back against the Watchers, Thompson knew this was just the beginning. These ancient beings wouldn't give up easily. And somewhere out in the darkness between stars, more of them were coming. The real war for humanity's right to break the rules was about to begin. But as Thompson looked at his crew, at the humans who had already made the impossible possible, he knew they were ready for whatever came next. Because the Watchers had made one crucial mistake. They thought enforcing the rules would stop humanity. Instead, they were teaching humanity exactly how to break those rules even better. and the U.S. Phantom was about to show them just how dangerous that mistake could be. News of the battle spread quickly through human space. The U.S. Phantom, already famous for breaking the rules of physics, was now fighting beings that controlled those rules. As reports reached Earth, humanity responded in the only way it knew how, by innovating even faster. Admiral Thompson stood on the Phantom's bridge, watching as the sensor display filled with new contacts. But these weren't enemy ships. They were human vessels, coming from every colony and outpost. Some were military, others were converted civilian ships. All of them had been modified based on the Phantom's designs, each one breaking the rules in new and creative ways. "Sir," Mike reported with a grin, "we're getting hails from over 50 ships. They've all implemented some version of our hybrid technology. The research teams back home have been working around the clock." Thompson nodded. Humanity had always been at its best when facing impossible odds. Open a channel to all ships. This is Admiral Thompson. What we face today isn't just an enemy fleet. The Watchers believe they control the laws of reality, and that we have no right to challenge those laws. They've spent billions of years enforcing their vision of order. Today, we show them something they've never seen before, a species that thrives on breaking the rules. The human fleet formed up around the Phantom. Each ship glowed with impossible energy combinations, their hulls shimmering with materials that shouldn't work together. Scientists and engineers across human space had taken the Phantom's designs and pushed them even further, finding new ways to break the rules. Mary approached Thompson, her eyes bright with excitement. "Sir, the fleet is sharing their innovations with us. Each ship found a different way to combine technologies. If we network our systems together, we become more than the sum of our parts," Thompson finished. "Do it." As the human ships linked their systems, something unprecedented began to happen. Their impossible technologies didn't just work together. They evolved, learning and adapting at an incredible rate. The combined fleet became a single organism of innovation and discovery. The Watchers sensed the change. Their massive ships, each one larger than a moon, moved to surround the human fleet. Reality warped around them as they prepared to unleash their full power. "We have existed since the beginning of this galaxy," their voice boomed across all frequencies. "We established the laws of physics. We determined which technologies could exist. And now you, children of a young star, think you can challenge us." Thompson stood firm. "We don't just challenge you. We thank you. Every attempt you make to stop us teaches us something new. Every rule you try to enforce shows us 10 new ways to break it. That's what you never understood about humanity. We learned from our enemies." The Watchers attacked, unleashing weapons that bent space and time. Stars dimmed as reality itself was twisted by their power. The human fleet should have been annihilated instantly. Instead, something miraculous happened. The networked ships, learning and adapting together, began to predict the Watchers' reality manipulations. Their shields shifted and changed, not just defending against the attacks but absorbing their principles. "It's working," Robert shouted from his engineering station. "The entire fleet is learning together. The more they attack, the more we understand how they control reality." The Phantom led the counterattack, its weapons now enhanced by knowledge gained from dozens of other innovative ships. Beams of energy that defied classification shot out, striking the nearest Watcher vessel. Where the energy touched, the Watchers' control over reality faltered. "They're not gods," Mary realized, studying the readings. "They're just an ancient species that learned to manipulate reality before anyone else. But they stopped innovating billions of years ago. They just enforced the same rules over and over. And now we're writing new rules," Thompson said. "All ships, concentrate fire on the lead vessel. Use everything we've learned." The human fleet fired as one, their impossible weapons combining into something even the Phantom's creators couldn't have imagined. Reality itself seemed to crack where their combined energy struck, revealing something beyond physical law, pure possibility. The lead watcher ship shuddered as its reality-shaping field collapsed. For the first time in billions of years, the ancient beings knew fear. They had enforced the laws of physics for so long, they'd forgotten that laws could change. "You cannot do this," the watchers transmitted, their voice no longer confident. "The consequences, you will destroy everything." "No," Thompson replied calmly. "We're not destroying anything. We're evolving, just like life has always done. The rules aren't set in stone. They're meant to be challenged and changed." The human fleet pressed its advantage, each ship using what they'd learned to strike at different watcher vessels. The ancient beings found themselves outmaneuvered by a species a fraction of their age, their billion-year-old tactics useless against humanity's constant adaptation. One by one, the watcher ships lost their hold on reality. Some fled, vanishing into the darkness between galaxies. Others simply shut down, their ancient systems unable to comprehend the rapidly evolving human technology. As the battle turned decisively in humanity's favor, Thompson opened a channel to the remaining watcher ships. "You can keep fighting, but you'll keep losing. Or you can accept that the galaxy has room for different approaches. Your way isn't the only way." Silence hung over the battlefield for a long moment. Then, the watcher's voice returned, somehow sounding older and wiser. "In all our existence, we have never encountered a species like yours. You do not just break rules. You transform them into something new." "That's what life does," Thompson responded. "It adapts. It evolves. It finds new ways forward. Your mistake was thinking that technology shouldn't do the same." "Perhaps," the ancient voice conceded. "After billions of years, we have forgotten what it means to discover, to see new possibilities." The remaining watcher ships powered down their weapons. The reality distortions around them faded as they withdrew their control over physical law. "We will watch, as we have always done. But we will not interfere again. Your species has earned the right to find its own path." As the watcher fleet retreated, the human ships began helping the damaged colonies. Networks of impossible technology restored what had been broken, healing wounds in reality itself. What had started as a warship had become something much more, a new understanding of what was possible. Thompson stood on the Phantom's observation deck, watching as the fleet worked together. Mary and Robert joined him, their faces tired but triumphant. "So what happens now?" Mary asked. "We've broken pretty much every rule in the book." Thompson smiled. "Now we write a new book. The Watchers spent billions of years telling the galaxy what couldn't be done. Now it's our turn to show what can be done." "The Phantom was just the beginning," Robert added. "Look at what the fleet accomplished when we shared our innovations. Imagine what happens when we share them with everyone." Thompson nodded. The impossible ship had changed everything. What had started as a military project had become the spark for a new age of discovery and cooperation. Humanity had faced beings that controlled reality itself, and had shown them that reality was meant to be questioned, challenged, and improved. As the Phantom rejoined the fleet, its impossible systems humming with new possibilities, Thompson knew this was just the first chapter in humanity's greatest adventure. They had proven that impossible was just another word for not tried yet, and humanity was just getting started.